The Beetlejuice 2 reviews are out. It premiered at the Venice Film Festival and is scheduled to be released on September 6th in the USA. Beetlejuice 2 takes place 36 years after the events of Beetlejuice. The Deetz family returns home to Winter River after Charles Deetz's unexpected death. Lydia's life is turned upside down when her rebellious teenage daughter, Astrid, discovers the mysterious model of the town in the attic, and the portal to the afterlife is accidentally opened, releasing Beetlejuice. Sounds like fun, right? I remember watching Beetlejuice as a kid and somewhat enjoyed it. And I also watched the cartoon that didn't really have much to do with the movie. But now we've waited 36 years for another Beetlejuice. The good thing is that it's still got the original cast to do it, so that's a plus. Beetlejuice is projected to gross 65 to 80 million. That sounds about right. Do you think it'll actually get there though? What are the critics saying about Beetlejuice 2? Is it better than the first? Let's see. Nicholas from Ion Cinema writes, Byrne turns on the juice to see what shakes loose, but it's hard to not believe something a bit more concise wasn't possible. His score, 2.5 out of 5. Luke from Awards Watch writes, Beetlejuice is another in a long line of legacy sequels that offers the viewer a morsel of what they love, but will walk away from it feeling ultimately unnourished. His score, C. Scott from We Live Entertainment writes, Beetlejuice was made with love, and you can feel that love in virtually every frame. His score, 9 out of 10. John from Empire Magazine writes, Michael Keaton, barely aging a day in his panda-eyed demonic getup, if anything seems to have more energy than he did 35 years ago, bouncing off the purgatorial walls with hilarious gusto, lifting everything around him. John's score, 3 out of 5. Nicholas from BBC.com writes, the nicest surprise is that Beetlejuice is a big budget comedy which is actually funny. His score, 4 out of 5. Robbie from the Daily Telegraph UK writes, everyone knows that to summon Beetlejuice you simply have to say his name 3 times aloud. This belated follow-up left me wondering how many times you'd have to say it to make him go away for good. Robbie's score for the movie, 2 out of 5. Richard from Vanity Fair writes, a rat's nest of callbacks and plot, so jumbled and overstuffed it's almost abstract. It's yet another legacy sequel that serves as a sad testament to the original film's ingenuity. Zan from The Guardian writes, Beetlejuice feels underpowered and throwaway. It's a likable exercise in nostalgia, a joyride through old haunts. Byrne's underworld caper contains plenty of second-hand spirit. What it craves is fresh blood. Score, 2 out of 5. Joanne from the London Evening Standard writes, suffice to say that nobody does death like Tim Burton, and it's a pleasure to follow him back into the underworld. You'll leave the cinema and return to the world of the living with a spring in your step and a smile on your face. Score, 4 out of 5. Sident from IGN gave it a 7 out of 10, writing, Tim Burton allows the cast of Beetlejuice to have fun, even if they're all off in separate movies that barely overlap. Its story is intentionally robbed of dramatic weight, but this makes way for the goofy, imaginative, practical effects of Burton's early days, resulting in a small-scale legacy sequel that doesn't take itself too seriously. The reviews are actually better than I expected. The consensus seems to be great film, but not as good as the original, which is good news because it could have ended up so much worse given Burton's recent track record. There is no Rotten Tomatoes score out yet. What do you guys think it will be? Will it be rotten or fresh? Are you excited to watch it? Let me know in the comments.